Kansas City Chiefs advance to the AFC Championship game. Awaiting them is Lamar Jackson, who is our soon-to-be league MVP for a second time in his career. First time he won was in 2019. Second time is going to be this year. When you see what he did in stomping Detroit, when you see what he did in stomping Seattle, when you see what he did in stomping the San Francisco 49ers, the way that he did during the regular season. You see the way he runs the football, you see the way he's throwing the football, you see the way he's leading that offense in Baltimore. Without Mark Andrews, by the way, their reliable tight end who got hurt weeks ago. A running game, spreading the ball around, the Zay Flowers, the OBJs of the world and others, combined with his excellence running the football, not just throwing it, and a defense that is stout with a coach led by John Harbaugh, the head coach, who's doing big things. You can't say enough about Lamar Jackson. C.J. Stroud, don't worry about him. That's a future star in the making. He'll be just fine. He'll be just fine. This is his first playoff game. He was a rookie. And we have to understand that you're going up against a stiff Baltimore defense. What did you expect from him? So I'm not knocking C.J. Stroud at all. His time will come. It just is not now. The time is now for the Baltimore Ravens. They're the best team in football. And what we have to do, and we have to start contemplating, is what are we going to be able to say when all is said and done if Lamar Jackson pulls this off? That's what we have to ask ourselves. During my day job on ESPN on First Take this morning with my man, Shannon Sharp, he was pointing out about Lamar Jackson, talking about how folks said he should have been a running back, how he should not have been a quarterback, how people were doubting him all the time. So what does he do? He comes in the NFL, he takes it by storm, he wins a league MVP. But over the last 2 years, he missed the last 5 games of the regular season, wasn't a participant in the postseason because obviously he was injured. But it still didn't stop him from chasing the bag, demanding the bag, and by the way, not having conventional, quintessential representation in order to get it. One minute you heard it was about a friend. Another minute you heard it was his mama. You didn't know who the hell was representing him. He was supposedly representing himself. He was never going to get his money. The barriers that stood in his way, the obstacles that served as impediment to whatever money he was looking to receive was standing right in front of his face. He didn't give a damn. He went out there and he got his money anyway, $260 million to be specific. Over 188 million guaranteed. And so when we look at it from that perspective, for him to now step on the football field and to play lights out the way that he's played, this is his time. But if there was ever a roadblock standing in his path, it is that of Patrick Mahomes. 6 years as a starter in the National Football League, 6 years in the AFC Championship game, 3 Super Bowl appearances, 2 Super Bowl titles already, and possibly en route to a third. That's what we're looking at. And if Lamar Jackson wanted to be elevated to the top of the food chain, wanted to be elevated to an individual that was that superstar, one that even exceeded Patrick Mahomes, you got to beat the man in order to be the man. And that's exactly what he's in a position to do. They're the #1 seed. They have home field advantage, universally recognized as being the better team this year because the Kansas City Chiefs was too busy having a bunch of receivers leading the league in drop passes. And as a result of that, despite what we saw from them yesterday, Patrick Mahomes, Marquez Valdez-Scantling actually catching passes, of course, Travis Kelce being that future Hall of Famer, of course, Taylor Swift was in attendance with Mama and with Jason Kelce. Shirtless and all, they showed up and handled their business. On the road for the first time in the Patrick Mahomes era, it was the first time they played a road game in the postseason with Patrick Mahomes as their quarterback. And they went in there and looked just like they would have looked at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. So Kansas City is not going anywhere. We've got an epic AFC Championship game in Baltimore between the Chiefs and the Ravens, between Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. We got to wait and see what happens. There's a lot of storylines out there.